It's so hard to know what to say.
I could just see you just.
Yeah. We didn't plan out what we were going to say to introduce
start,
it at all. Yeah.
Planned out everything but that.
Okay, hi. So, at the time of this video being released, it is July 1st, which means it is the 1-year anniversary of our debut record, Not So Notorious, released in 2024, recorded by myself, Joe Burke, and Sean McFadden on drums. And today we just thought we'd give you a quick run through of each song and just sort of our inspirations behind it, what it's about, the lyrics, just to celebrate the album being out, because we're very proud of our work and we thought it'd be cool to share.
Yep.
So without further ado, let's get straight into the semantics of the album. So the name, Not So Notorious. Where did that come from?
It came from our one of our tutors at college. Called Matt Dibbins. Shout out, Matt. He had lots of nicknames for himself. There's too many to go through right now, but one of them was the Not So Notorious DIB, which were just his initials. And we thought we couldn't come up with an album name, and we thought that would probably be best because it sounded cool. It sounded a bit like All Colour No Filler by Sum 41. So.
Yeah, and that the rest is or will be history. So if you want to know all of Matt Dibbins' nicknames, on the CD of Not So Notorious, on the back in the thank yous, we actually thank every individual nickname of him that he has.
Yep.
Dibbo, the Dibster, DIB, all sorts, Dibby Smalls.
Dibby Smalls, I was just about to say that one.
But yeah, shout out Matt Dibbins to start off this video. Because without him, the album wouldn't exist and it wouldn't be as cool.
No.
So, track 1 on the record is a song called Richmond, which really fits in the theme of Not So Notorious. What would you say about it?
Lyric-wise?
Yeah.
The song is basically about bands all sounding a bit similar and sort of the same, and being inspired by a lot of the same bands, and just sort of where sort of the scene that we were sort of a part of when we were first starting, we were just sort of bored of seeing a lot of the same bands that all sounded the same. Yeah,
it was kind of like the copy paste indie bands who all wanted to be Oasis or Arctic Monkeys, and those are great bands, don't get me wrong, but it's the smaller bands that don't really have an identity for themselves. They just wanted to be another band. So that's what that song was about, and it really fitted with the theme of Not So Notorious, because obviously Not So Notorious implies it kind of sucks, and then the first song on the record is about a band that kind of sucks. So it worked really well. Got
some notes here. We got I've got one bullet point that just says sausage, and it's because we couldn't think of a name for the song, so I can't even remember where it came from. I think we were just talking about sausage rolls or something like that, and then somehow Richmond came about, and then we were just let's just call it that.
Yeah, and that's stuck. We now get photos from fans of a packet of Richmond sausages, and they'll play our song in the background. It's really it's funny. It never gets old.
What else we got? The bass solo, which I think is very, very cool.
Yeah, the bass solo. I remember we wrote the majority of this record when we were in college together, in rehearsal rooms specifically. I think there's only a couple that we went off and did on our own, then brought to it. But I remember with Richmond, I really wanted to have a bass solo in a song on the album, and so we thought this would be a good place to smash it in there. So we kind of shoehorned one in, and then. Yeah, it sounded pretty cool, and that was the bridging area to go into the outro, which is also a really cool part of the song.
Yeah, which originally wasn't going to have any lyrics, or any melody for that matter. And then Ozzy sort of came up with the last vocal melody, and then me and Sean sort of wrote harmonies around it.
Yeah, it was really weird because we were playing through the song. We were at the end of the song, and we were doing the outro with the bam bam bams and stuff, and I heard a melody in my head and I thought Joe was singing it, but then when I turned to Joe wasn't singing at all, and neither was Sean. So I was like, oh well, that's obviously what needs to go there, because that's what I'd heard, and it sounded great. So through trick of the mind, almost, that melody came about. This whole song was sort of it was a result of us really wanting to create a song that people could dance to. So up to this point, most of our songs were quite a bit heavier and more on like the harder punk side.
Yeah.
So we were thinking, oh, what if you just want a song that you can like sort of groove to, and that's where the whole idea of it came from, like the rhythm of it. And
Yeah.
the little like octavey bass line, like that's where the idea was basically. And I would say we succeeded personally.
I would agree. Should we move on to Came and Gone?
Yes, let's move on to Came and Gone.
So this is the fastest song on the record, I think, unless Old Time.
No, I think Came and Gone's the fastest on the record. To this date, the fastest song we've written together, although that may change with album 2.
It was written as a joke, and it was written as a joke, sort of inspired by a lot of like skate punk bands, sort of as like a tribute to those sort of bands like No Effects and stuff like that, but also sort of parodying. Is that a word?
Yeah,
and the lyrics I'll let you talk about because
so the song was originally, like as Joe said, a parody of skate punk, and I wanted to write about something really, really silly, because a lot of like our favourite bands have like that one really funny joke song.
Yeah.
Like Blink-182 of like Depends, or like there's just lots of silly fast songs. Long list of it. And so we were told by a friend of ours at the time that her pet rabbits had died during intercourse. And I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever heard. So I thought, what if we write a song about that? I was dared to do it, but I willingly took on the dare fully. And that's how the song came about. And I personally think it's some of the best lyrics I've written to this day. The metaphor of going at it like rabbits and having a wild night and all sorts. It's just if I do say so myself, it's fantastic and is one of my favourite songs. Tell us about the fill, Joe.
The drum fill.
Yes.
Sean, bless him. we were sort of trying to write. He sort of had played the from what I can remember, he'd written the main, like, what's it?
The meat and potatoes of the drums.
Yeah. But then we would sort of, because the song stops and starts a lot, we were trying to come up with something to fill in the space, and he came up with this, like, just really, like, stupid sounding, almost like caveman.
Unga bunga fill.
Yeah. Drum fill, and it fits so perfectly, and it still makes me laugh even when we play it live, 'cause it just sounds so dumb in a good way.
Yeah. And when we recorded the record, this song, the drum kit had 2 snares on it. One that was like a regular snare for the meat and potatoes of the song, and then for the fill, which is literally a kick and then 3 blasts on the snare, he had this really small like auxiliary snare that sounded really, really disgustingly fat. Like vile, like almost like Saint Anger levels of fat snare. And that's what he hit for the fill. It was a different snare to the snare that he used for the rest of the song, and I think it really needed that.
Good. It was so funny.
It's definitely a 2 snare song. And another like layer that we added to the song, which I think really added to it, we took a page out of the book of the Queens of the Stone Age,
and the Stooges as well.
And the Stooges. Can't forget the Stooges.
Just sort of having one piano note, just sort of going, like in Go With The Flow, and like in,
I Want to Be Your Dog.
I Want to Be a Dog, and Your Pretty Face Is Going to Hell. And yeah, we just thought it fit really well. Adds a bit of piano to the album, you know.
Yeah,
different texture.
Yeah,
you know?
more dynamics with the instruments, which was really cool. Speaking of dynamics, actually, as far as vocals go on that album, we thought it'd be really funny to have some intentional clipping on the vocal tracks, because it was funny and it's a energetic song. So at the end, where you hear us all scream rabbits, it clips, and that was intentional. So yeah.
Right. So next song is Appetite. This song is quite different to everything else on the record.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a, I don't want to say it sticks out like a sore thumb, because I think it still sort of fits in, but it is very like, the riff is just sort of. I don't think any of us would write anything like that now.
Yeah, I think I'm very glad that it made the album, because I think it's a really cool, like, subversion of what we'd usually do that we wouldn't usually think to put in there. But yeah, we probably wouldn't do that again. But it's great.
I mean, it's
cool.
It's a cool song. It's very inspired by like early My Chemical Romance, so like the first two records, like Three Cheers and Bullets, and then it's for some. At the time, I was into metalcore, which I'm not massively now. Like, I still like some stuff, but it was quite, in case you couldn't tell by the riff, inspired by Avenged Sevenfold, which are a band who I like, but I don't. They're not one of my favourite bands or anything, and I wouldn't write a riff like that now. So it's interesting to hear it.
It's like a product of like the style of like music we wanted to make at the time. But that was before we'd fully like found our sound properly. So it fits really well on Not So Notorious, but it's like, would we be able to find a place for it again on a different album if we were to place it on? Yeah. Which I think is very interesting. The drums on this album, the album, but on this song in particular are absolutely killer in my opinion. It really makes it. It's one of my favourite songs on the record because of the drums. The drums drive it so well. Sean absolutely killed that song.
He did cook with that.
He did indeed.
What else we got? We got the riff at the start doesn't actually ever come in again, because we were sort of messing about in the rehearsal rooms at college one day, and we just, the second time that the riff comes in, we just didn't play it. Like, I just didn't play it, and it sort of just sounded a lot cooler than the riff coming back in, because you're expecting the riff to come back in, and it doesn't. It's just a cool little thing.
Subversion of expectations, which works really well in the context of the song.
Just not in The Last Jedi.
Not in The Last Jedi. No.
And yeah, basically this song, I looking back on it now, I sort of just discovered the harmonic minor scale, and then was like, this is sick. This sounds so evil, and then just wrote this.
But I think that's something really cool about our debut record. Like, I think the songs are great, but you can very much tell, like, there's a lot of youth in it. Which I mean, I say that as if we're like old men now. We're only 19, but there's a lot of like that youthful sort of exploration of songwriting, because we were brand new to it pretty much. So I think that's something that especially shows on this song, but it makes it all the better in my opinion.
Do you want to move on?
What are the lyrics about on this song?
Lyrics. So I wrote the lyrics from this situation that one of my friends got in, where this girl just sort of wouldn't leave him alone, and it was just a very messy and complicated situation. And then this thing sort of went down, and I sort of just, it wasn't necessarily all just about that situation, but it was sort of about just that situation and stuff like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like situations like that. I'm not going to, drop the address and the name of the person.
Yeah, it was so-and-so and they live here. And, But yeah, I think Appetite is a very emotional and heartfelt song, and in my opinion, that is the best song on the record. But the beauty of it is,
really?
everyone who...
It's actually the best?
I would say it is, yeah. But the beauty of it is, everyone who listens to the album would have their own favourite.
Yeah, true.
For instance, this next song could be your favourite.
It could be indeed. This track's called Old Times, and this song's sort of very westerny, which is quite a cool change up from the sort of evil sounding song before it. It's sort of very, just sort of spaghetti western in a way. Yeah,
it reminds me a lot of that one MCR song.
Oh, Hang 'em High.
Yeah, which is very. I think.
Cheers.
Yeah, it's a compliment. It's really like it's got like the sort of like vibe of like a moving train, like in a western, where like there'd be like a baddie like tied to the train tracks or something. Like that's the vibe that I imagine in my head whenever I listen to it. And I think it's again instrumentally very interesting. I mean, we would say that, but that's what this is.
We're just great, and
we're just amazing, and you should all buy our record. You should all buy it right now. I'm going to say it into every camera. Buy our record.
What else? This song was inspired by Stockholm Syndrome by Muse, which I love Muse. I just don't really listen to them anymore. But I sort of wanted to match the sort of thing that goes on in that song, where the sort of verses are super tense and quite fast, and then the chorus is like this big anthemic thing. Yeah. And on the chorus of this song, we got some really cool harmonies. It's like the
Three-part
only
harmony.
time. I think it's the only time we do a 3-part harmony on the entire album. I think.
Yeah, it is.
We probably
Yeah.
should have added one to Play Pretend, but oh well.
But yeah, it works really, really well.
Yeah.
I love the bass line for this song. It's a very how would I describe this bass line? It's not
very
necessarily
bouncy.
walky. Yeah, it's bouncy.
Yeah.
That's the best way to describe it. It was one of my favourite bass lines I've ever written. I've now written better ones for album 2, which you're going to love. But yeah, at the time that was my favourite bass line I'd written, and it's a blast to play live as well. It's
Yeah,
so
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
One of
It
my
is.
favourites to play live.
Yeah, and the ending is quite cool. Sort of wanted it to sound like a machine gun, which sort of
Yeah.
fits in with the rest of the sort of Western vibe.
Yeah,
or
like
whatever.
you could just picture like a cowboy on like a Gatling gun, like
Yeah, just mowing guys down.
yeah. That's exactly the imagery we want our music to have.
Right, so next song is I Wanted You.
Yeah, I Wanted You ends side A of the vinyl version of our record, which you can buy, by the way. Vinyl is permanent and does not get taken down from Spotify. Yeah,
Sounds better as well. But
it does indeed. But yeah, so I Wanted You closes side A of the record. It starts with a rather melancholic bass line, which came about from when I was trying to play the Blink-182 song Carousel. And
it's ironic because
it's very ironic because the songs couldn't be more different afterwards. But yeah, I'd not taken the effort to actually learning the song. I was like, oh, I know it's somewhere up here. And then I ended up playing I Wanted You. And then we sort of formed the song around that opening bass line, didn't we?
Yeah. And sort of, it was very. I thought it sounded a lot like Joy Division and sort of like a Peter Hook bass line.
Mm.
And so that was sort of, cause for a while we just called it the post-punk song.
Yeah.
And then, sort of, we jammed it, and at the time we were listening to Radiohead as well.
Yeah, quite a bit of
Sean
Radiohead,
got
yeah.
into Radiohead because I remember he was really into the Bends.
And we
around this
were
time.
covering Just a lot at the time as well.
Yeah. Which is why during the bridge section, there's
Ooh.
that sort of super fast strumming thing that Johnny Greenwood does in Just.
Yeah, and also on the bridge section, which was an idea that we were very proud of, gassed about, was we reversed the guitars so that as Joe was going mental with the octaves, the reversed guitar would swell up and sort of swallow it as it went into the final chorus.
Yeah.
Which was really cool, and it's probably something we're going to do again at some point because it's just a cool
It
effect.
just sounds so cool.
It's very cool.
But yeah, it's very different. It's definitely the slowest song on the album.
Yeah, it's our longest song so far as well.
It's like 4 minutes, which is
4.5
not really
minutes.
that long in the grand scheme of things. But
No, but for us it's long.
yeah.
We're used to 2 minute 20 quick shots of adrenaline in this song.
Yeah.
It's very nice though to break up a set, because usually we'd pop it bang in the middle of a set to
Yeah. It gives us a break as well.
yeah,
We can sort
slow
of
things
chill
down
out.
a bit. Yeah,
I think it's a good closer to side 1, because then when side 2 starts, it's picking up the pace again.
indeed it is. And that seems like a fantastic
That was a
segue
really
to go
good
into
segue. I
our
didn't
next
mean
song.
to do it. I didn't even mean to do that, but we'll move anyway.
So opening side B is the track Play Pretend, which is another favourite of mine. I'd say it's probably tied with Appetite.
Yeah, this is Adam Holden's favourite.
Yeah, shout out Adam
if you're
Holden.
watching.
We love Adam Holden.
Yeah.
So Play Pretend opens up with just bass and drums,
Yeah.
which was really cool. Joe wrote the brunt of the instrumental for this song. In fact, I think he wrote all of it, to be
Yeah.
honest. The literal only change that I made to the bass line was those little fills in the chorus.
Yeah.
And I don't play octaves. Originally, it was like an octave sort of thing, wasn't it?
It was not a good bass line.
It was all right, to be fair, but I just thought it was a bit too complicated for what the song needed.
Yeah.
But this song is one of my favourites because it's pure. It's the most that we'd fully collaborated on a song. To that point, which was really cool.
Yeah. And it was cool that for the lyrics, you sort of did a Ramonesy thing, which was like what they do on Rockaway Beach, where you've got set of lyrics and then the lyrics just repeat.
Yeah, just a verse, a chorus, and then you repeat them. There's no verse 2. Verse 2 is just verse 1 again.
Especially since the second verse as well is shorter.
Yeah.
Because the guitar solo then comes in, which just sort of, I think it just keeps the song simple, which it needed.
Yeah, something that Joe's commented on quite a few times is how much we managed to fit in the second shortest song on the album. It's only just over 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's got an intro, verse, chorus, second verse, solo, chorus, and an outro. All of that fit in such a small package.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's relentless, and it's one of my favourites to play live because of it. It's so cool.
Yeah, and originally we were meant to... I can't remember why we didn't do it on the record, but when we played it live,
that was my fault.
Half time. Oh, was it?
Yeah. So when we do it live, we do a half time, but then
on the last chorus, we go half time.
But for the record, I forgot to record the bass half time, and so as a result, we instinctually, because the bass was the first part of the song recorded, then Joe recorded his guitars in like standard time, and then Sean recorded the drums in standard time, and then we were like, after we'd finished recording it, we were like, wait a minute, we usually do this half time, which is quite funny. But I think it's quite nice to have that differentiation from the album to the live show. Yeah,
it's cool that it just sounds different to the record. That's
it does,
when you go and see a band live, isn't it?
Indeed.
Should we move on?
Let's move on, to one of the most popular tracks on the album.
Yeah.
Absolute killer song.
The song's called Satisfied.
And it leaves you satisfied.
Satisfied was super inspired by Bad Nerves and Jay Retard.
Banging bands.
Just sort of, I wrote it very quickly and just sort of wanted to write something that was just so quick and so to the point that you couldn't even really think about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, by the time you register the song, it's over, but it just keeps rolling. It's so like I've used the word array for Play Pretend, but I think this song very much has the same sort of vibe about it. It's just relentless. It keeps going.
Yes,
it's very aggressive despite the very poppy like melody of it. It's such a good earworm as well. Satisfied, you really did well with that one, I'd say.
Yeah, it's probably my favourite on here, just because I've just got like quite a lot of memories attached to it now, and it's one of my sister's favourites, and just that and a song that we'll be getting to later are probably our most like popular of our live sets. Yeah, definitely.
Like people always take those two songs away.
Yeah.
But fun little fact about this song: this is the only song on the album in which I have a guitar credit because I played the palm mutes.
Yeah.
Because Joe and I were sat for like
half an hour,
genuinely like half an hour, just trying to get this one bit of palm mutes at the start, and neither of us could do it, and it was just pure luck. Like whoever did it first, basically.
Yeah.
We just basically take it in turns and be like, who's going to get this first?
Yeah, it was rough.
Yeah. Not our proudest moment.
What else we got? The bridge. Bridge is quite cool.
I love the bridge of this song.
Change of pace and everything, and the outro as well, which is similar to Play Pretend, where it just sort of you think it's ended and then it goes into the outro.
Yeah,
which is cool.
I think the lyrics on this song need to be commended as well. I think personally that is Joe Burke's best lyrics to this day until you hear album 2. But on album 1, definitely his best lyrics. Some of the lyrics on that song actually give me chills. They're that good.
I think that's pretty much it for this. I feel like there's not much.
Yeah, I mean,
I feel like this is a song that like is so popular, but it just sort of happened so quickly that we just don't really.
Well, this was a song that you like Play Pretend. You'd like devise the brunt of it at home, didn't you?
Yeah. I've written pretty much the entire thing on my laptop.
Yeah,
and we sort of changed it a bit when we got into the rehearsal room.
Yeah, that's how it kind of went for the last couple of songs to be like written for the album. It was like Joe or myself, mostly Joe to be fair, would write songs at home, and then the main bits that Sean and I would change would like I'd just tweak the bass line, and then Sean would tweak the drums. Yeah. I do like the bass line on Satisfied. I think I very much cooked with that.
Yeah. It's great, especially during the bridge.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
Indeed we shall.
Next
to
song.
track 8. And buddy, this is something I forgot to say actually. So Satisfied, at the end of the song, we do the intro, the bee-bee-dee-doo, and then it swells. And this is something we stole directly from Blink-182. It swells, it swells up, and then it's swallowed by the start of the next song, which is Flies, which starts with just a kick drum. And it works really well because it swells up into something huge, and then what it turns into is so quiet.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
good start.
It is very now that I'm thinking about it, it is very similar to on the transition from Aliens Exist to Going Away to College, because it is literally like a really loud bit, and then because going away to college is quite quiet at the start.
Quite
as well.
pretty at the start, yeah. This song is not pretty though. This song is
No.
ugly, and that's
No,
how it
go
was
on.
designed.
Talk about this one then.
So Flies is about the same thing as what we'll be saying for the next song, Deep Fat Fire. Flies is like the New Hope to Deep Fat Fire's Rogue One, in which one just sort of leads directly into the other.
Sound like such fucking like.
We've spoken about Star Wars a lot in this.
Yeah.
It was very inspired by Alice in Chains and Queens of the Stone Age. I think I just listened to Jar of Flies before writing that riff, and Queens of the Stone Age I've always been a decent fan of anyway. Yeah, they're always cool, yeah. But yeah, the first part of the song that was written was the bridge part actually at the end of the song. Well, it's an outro, isn't it? It's not a bridge, but the bass line, which is literally just what note is it?
It's just F sharp.
F sharp, yeah, just bent over and over.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
But yeah, that was originally going to be the meat and potatoes of the song on the original demo of it, which I've still got on my phone, but you will never hear. And then I came up with the bass line thing.
Yeah, the bass line's so cool. It just sounds it sounds proper Queen's. It just sounds so wonky.
Yeah, and
so good.
that was something I was very happy with. And so I thought, let's slot these two things together. But one thing that I did very much need yours and Sean's help with was the chorus, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was because that chorus has changed quite a lot. Because originally, you used to sort of do it like.
I used to do like a dreadful sort
which
of scream.
Actually, sometimes when it hit live, it sounded really good.
Yeah.
But
we never got video of it hitting live though. Funnily enough, it was always bad when we videoed it.
But yeah, we just ended up changing it so Ozzy sort of finishes singing in the pre-chorus, and then I come in, I do a line, and then Sean comes in and he does a line, and me and Sean then swap during the chorus, which is quite cool because it's sort of the only time that me and Sean do any sort of backing.
Yeah, apart from Richmond, but that's more gang vocals than it is.
Yeah, because that's you two, and then me, and then.
But yeah, Flies, I was very, very happy with when we wrote it.
Yeah,
and it's
Sean's drumming on it is really sick as well,
especially at
the ending.
Yeah,
it's
the ending's
so cool.
fantastic. It was Sean's performance on drums for the whole album. To be fair, is very
so good.
Very cool.
Yeah, he fucking smashed it.
He did indeed, as did we all. You should buy the album.
That's another thing with the during the verses. I don't know if it's on the first verse, but it's definitely on the second verse where you've got the distorted vocals. Turned down.
So recording vocals for this album was quite harrowing for me because I would argue I'm a much less natural singer than Joe is. So I double or triple taked most of my vocals on the record. But for Flies, I thought because the song's so stripped back, instrumentally, it's very tame, isn't it? The verses at least. The doubled vocals didn't really sound good. But a single vocal on its own also didn't sound very good. So I thought, what if we put a distorted whisper almost underneath it, high gain, just to add some thickness to it. And I think it really added a sinister vibe.
Because we'd listened to that Tiger Cub album came out.
Yeah.
What's it? Perfume of Decay. But I can't remember which song it is that they do. There's probably quite a few songs that they do it on, but we were heavily inspired by that. Tiger Cub are a sick band. I don't understand how they're not bigger. So if you haven't checked them out, check them out.
Indeed.
I think that's pretty much it for Flies by the looks of it.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Deep Fat Fire is going to take up half of this
half an hour. What is there to not say about Deep Fat Fire?
Right. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Let's start. Joe, what's the story of Deep Fat Fire? Tell us now so you don't have to say it in interviews later.
But I'm going, yeah. Basically, sorry, I'm sounding I hate this song, but basically, I was trying to cook super noodles in my kitchen one day, and I turned the hob on, and the Deep Fat Fryer that my dad had bought had been left out on the cooker the night before. So I turned on the hob, turned around, and then when I turned back around, because I was getting a fork or something, the Deep Fat Fryer was on fire, and the hob had not, wasn't having it, and just set the whole thing on fire. And I was just sort of staring at it that's not real. I'm high or something, just what is happening? And but it was real. And then basically it burnt down the kitchen pretty much. Had to get out. Luckily, the fire brigade were coming past my house as it happened, which
That's
was quite
very
convenient.
Yeah.
But then it was quite traumatizing, to be honest. But we made a banger out of it.
And then guess what I did? So he tells me this traumatizing story, and we'd written an instrumental for our very first song together. It was very Dead Kennedys, like suicidal tendencies sort of like vibe of like a hardcore sort of punk song. And Joe comes into college one day and tells me and Sean this very dramatic story of his house being engulfed in flame.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, let's write the lyrics for this song about that.
I mean, it worked, though. The thing is, it works.
It did work. I'd say Deep Fat Fire is by far our most popular song.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really crazy because it's quite like simple compared to everything else.
And it's just stupid.
It's a really stupid
so
song.
Dumb. But yeah, it's the first song we ever wrote, which is quite
cool,
but also, it's just
you can tell.
So funny. Yeah,
you can tell it's.
But
the
lyrics are great.
Yeah, I think pyrotechnics in the kitchen, but I'm no gourmet chef is probably the hardest opening line to like.
Anything.
Yeah, anything ever.
Yeah,
like forget your 2001: A Space Odyssey and all of that. Pyrotechnics in the kitchen's where it's at. But yeah, this song was polished like a fine leather shoe because it was produced by one of our college lecturers, Jack Arnold, who massively helped us out with this entire record. He mastered half the songs. He produced Richmond and Deep Fat Fire.
Yeah. He was so, honestly, shout out to him because he was a massive help for this. Had he not been there, and had we not been pushed by our other tutors, this album wouldn't have happened. Yeah,
and the stuff that he, like, the songs that he didn't do himself still benefited from his input and, like, him telling us basically what to do.
Yeah,
so the songs that he didn't produce or mix. Like
even like songwriting-wise, like on I Wanted You, the intro was so long. I don't understand how people weren't like falling asleep when we played it live, and he basically just sat us down and was like, right, you need to take this out, you need to take that out, shorten that, get to the point quicker.
And it was better for it, way better,
because that song would probably be like 10 minutes long.
And it was cool to work with someone who fully understood what we were trying to do.
Yeah. He was like a fan of the bands that we were a fan of.
And he introduced me to Turnstile, actually, because Turnstile was the reference for like the mixing of this song.
Yeah.
And you can kind of tell because the guitars on this song sound so fat.
Yeah.
It's incredible. But yeah, without Jack Arnold, I think Jack Arnold and Matt Dibbins are the two most influential people on this record. And a secret third, who I know you want to shout out. You're itching to shout out right now.
Yeah. What are we... Well, basically, at the end of this song, Sean screams something, if you listen carefully. And... He's screaming Adrian, who was our college tutor who left in the first year because he was very ill, bless him. He was an absolutely lovely guy, and he actually helped us to make the first few demos of this song, and he was actually quite like encouraging in us to keep going because he found it really funny, but I think he could obviously see that there was like actually something
like passion.
Like we were clearly actually trying to make an effort, and Sean screaming that is basically just a tribute to him.
Indeed, and he will forever be cemented in history on our first song that we released, which is really cool.
A shout out to Elliot Oakley as well. He was a big help on here in terms of especially my guitar parts. I remember there was a few songs where I was trying to we were trying to layer the guitars up a lot, and he was like, play it in different voicings and all this other stuff that was really helpful. So he was a massive help on this record as well.
Indeed, those are the main four really that we have to thank for the record.
Yeah.
If you go to our CD and look at the back of it, there is a bunch of other thank yous of people who helped us make it and helped inspire us just to get to the point that we were. Yeah, and we too long of a list to list out now, but we'd like to thank everyone basically who's on the back of that list.
Yeah,
our friends at college who were very supportive and inspiring to us, our families of course who pushed us to actually follow this dream. So onward and upward, we think we hit it out the park with our first record, and the second one's going to hit it out the planet.
It's going to be
it's going to be
I like that.
It's going to be spectacular. only up from here.
Yeah, and then eventually we'll hit a peak, and then we'll release some really bad music for you guys.
Yeah, just like we'll try to write like pop rock songs, and then it won't be good enough to even get on the radio anyway. So there will be no point.
We'll write like Maroon 5-esque.
Yeah,
like that kind of thing.
But yeah, that was Not So Notorious. For those of you who are interested, we probably just spent more time talking about the album than the length of the album itself.
Yeah, I was actually about to say, like, we've got more to talk about Deep Fat Fire, but this would probably end up being like 2 hours long.
Yeah,
so.
we could speak forever. Perhaps we'll do a sequel to this on the 2-year anniversary of Not So Notorious.
Just say what we've already said.
Yeah, again. But yeah. Thank you for watching and for listening and for caring about our band. Yeah. Anyone who watches this, I'm assuming, will have listened to the album. If you haven't, then what are you doing? Watching two people talk about an album you haven't listened to. Yeah. But listen to the album again. Yeah. Oh, buy it on vinyl as well. Indeed. Buy a T-shirt if you'd like a T-shirt, which I've got one here. I do have a CD somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So yeah, we've also got CDs and. You can buy a direct digital download off of Bandcamp as well, so that you own it, because something we found with streaming services recently is that they're not reliable. Yeah, not reliable at all. And they don't pay their artists either. But that's a different piece. Everyone knows that. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for watching. And look out for album 2 news, which may be soon. Yes. Oh, and we're not like an announcement. It's not finished yet, but like we're working on it. Yeah. I was going to say as well, we're doing a we may as well announce that we're going to do a giveaway here. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's a shout. So we're gonna, for the 1-year anniversary of Not So Notorious coming out, we're gonna do a giveaway of a T-shirt and a CD. And then a CD by itself, and then a T-shirt. So, indeed, keep an eye on our TikTok, socials, Instagram, and all that. Yeah, and go listen to the album after this if you want. The time on repeat. Yeah. Bye guys. Bye guys. Bye guys. Bye.